Hi fellow wanderlust, and welcome back to my channel Basic to Glam Chic for yet another travel vlog around Italy. If you're new here, welcome and thank you for tuning in. In this channel, I shall be showing you all the amazing places in Italy to visit, so please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified each time that I upload a video for you wanderlust. Alright, in today's video, we are at the Spanish Steps in Rome, also called Scalinata di Trinità dei Monti, which means the steps of the Holy Trinity of the mountains. The Spanish Steps are a monumental staircase and the widest staircase in Europe, and we are going to talk about 1. How they got their name, 2. Who built them and why, and 3. How many steps there are. Also, a bonus for this video, I'll show you the fountain at the base of the Spanish Steps, a brief history and its legend. 2. The Column of the Immaculate Conception at the end of the Piazza di Spagna. And lastly, the street that you can shop till you drop, or rather, shop till you run broke. All are found just around the Spanish Steps and most importantly, free to visit. Cool, right? Ready? Let's go! The church that you see at the top of the Spanish Steps is called Santissima Trinità dei Monti, or just Trinità dei Monti, and it's on top of a hill called the Pincian Hill, in Italian Pincio, and it was built in the 1500s. Where we now have the Spanish Steps used to be just a dirt slope connecting the church on top, the Trinità dei Monti, and the Piazza di Spagna, or Plaza of Spain, or Spanish Square in English, which is below, and it's called Piazza di Spagna because of the Spanish embassy to the Holy See, which has been there since 1647. This church was and still is French, and at that time, the French king started negotiating with the Pope about how to build a staircase, rather some kind of a connection between the French church at the top, the Trinità dei Monti, with the plaza below, Piazza di Spagna, around the mid-1600s. So, this discussion and heated debate went on for about 100 years, with different kings and popes, of course, until finally, in 1717, Pope Innocent XIII held a contest and commissioned the design to architects Francesco de Sanctis and Alessandro Specchi. The Spanish Steps were built between 1723 and 1725, linking the top of the hill under the French influence with the Church of Trinità dei Monti to the Spanish embassy to the Holy See. Therefore, the Spanish Steps are a monumental staircase of 135 steps and the widest monumental staircase in Europe. And they get their name from the fact that the Spanish embassy to the Holy See is just down the Piazza di Spagna. Lastly, on the Spanish Steps, there is a new law made in 2019 which prohibits eating and sitting on the steps in order to preserve this monumental landmark, which I agree. Hence the reason why we have the cops around. They're just there to ensure that you don't sit or eat at the Spanish Steps. Okay, now I will lightly cover about the obelisk that you see at the top close to the church. If this is not for you, I left timestamps so you can just jump straight to the Fontana della Barcaccia that's just below the Spanish Steps. Okay guys, I'm currently just a bit obsessed with obelisks, especially that we have so many in Rome. Hence, I'm intrigued to know their history and I'll share this with you, okay? The obelisk in front of the church looks Egyptian but is in fact a Roman copy. The obelisk is called the Obelisco Sallustiano because it was made in the early years of the Roman Empire for the gardens of Sallust, hence its name. But it was moved here next to the church in 1789 by Pope Pius VI. Like I said, the Sallustiano obelisk is a Roman copy, actually an Aurelian copy because it was constructed during the reign of Emperor Aurelian. It's smaller than the original, which is called the Flaminio obelisk or the Popolo obelisk, which is found at Piazza del Popolo. An obelisk from ancient Egypt brought to Rome by ancient Rome's first emperor Augustus in 10 BC as a trophy of war after his victory of Antony and Cleopatra. This is an interesting history worth knowing on ancient Rome. Originally, the Flaminio obelisk was set up in the Circus Maximus, meaning largest circus, and later moved to its current location at Piazza del Popolo. Don't worry, I know you're intrigued. I'll do a video on Circus Maximus soon. The Flaminio obelisk is the second oldest and one of the tallest obelisks in Rome. At the base of the Spanish Steps in the Piazza di Spagna is the early Baroque fountain called Fontana della Barcaccia. In 1623, Pope Urban VIII commissioned Pietro Bernini to build the fountain as part of a prior papal project to erect a fountain in every major piazza in Rome. The fountain was built between 1627 and 1629 by Pietro Bernini along with the help of his son, the famous Italian sculptor and architect Gian Lorenzo Bernini, who is credited with creating the Baroque style of sculpture. Most of Gian Lorenzo Bernini's works can be seen all over Italy, such as the famous Baldacchino di San Pietro, l'Altare di Bernini. This is a masterpiece that you get to see when you walk in St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. Surely one of my favorites. The sculpture of David at Galleria Borghese in Rome, Fontana dei Quattro Fiumi, amongst others. The list is enormous. Bernini is also credited for his initial sketches of the Trevi Fountain. I did a video of this, the link I'll leave up here on the screen. Honestly, Bernini is by far one of my favorite sculptors. As a hint, to see most of his sculptures, visit Galleria Borghese in Rome. There you'll see a number of these guys' masterpieces. Okay, let's just get back to the fountain story before I drown into the works of this dude. It's good to know that the source of the water at Fontana della Barcaccia comes from the Aqua Vergine aqueduct from 19 BC, which is the same aqueduct that feeds the Trevi Fountain. This aqueduct can be seen at Via del Nazareno in Rome. Awesome, right? Rome is simply an open walking museum. Every street you take, you stumble upon something ancient. There's history everywhere. Want to know some interesting legends on Fontana della Barcaccia? According to legend, as the river Tiber flooded in 1598, water carried a small boat into the Piazza di Spagna. When the water receded, a boat was deposited in the center of the piazza, and it was this event that inspired Pietro Bernini, that is Gian Lorenzo Bernini's father, 30 years later. Cool, right? If you closely look at the fountain, it's decorated with the papal coat of arms and two suns at both ends of the boat, which are a symbol of the Barberini family, as a reminder of Pope Urban VIII's ancestry. The Barberini coat of arms has 3 bees surmounted by papal tiara and cross keys on coins struck for Pope Urban VIII. Lastly, you can actually drink from this fountain, along with many other fountains you'll see in Rome. A stone's throw away from the Spanish Steps is Piazza Mignanelli, where stands the Column of the Immaculate Conception. Every December the 8th is a public holiday in Italy called Immacolata, whereby the Pope comes to change the wreath of flowers atop the column where Mary, the Holy Mother of Jesus, is holding it. Well, the Pope doesn't actually change it himself. The head of the firemen does. The monument was designed by the architect Luigi Poletti, and the bronze statue, which stands atop an ancient Roman column, is the work of Giuseppe Obici. Moving forward, looking up, the Virgin Mary with her crown of 12 stars is seen stomping a serpent, which is a symbol of original sin, and her feet. At the base of the globe on which she stands are statues of the 4 evangelists, David, Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Moses, each accompanied by a quote of a biblical verse in Latin, all of whom, it is said, foretold the birth of the Virgin Mary. Let's dive in a bit into the meanings of the statues. In case this is a little intense or just not for you, I have the timestamps for you so you can jump straight to where you find more interesting. No grudges from me. I know I can sometimes be a little bit too much, even for myself. Okay, so for those sticking for this bit, I did all the homework for you guys. Like, you're welcome. And Latin isn't any of my languages. So, there are 4 main statues: Moses, David, Ezekiel, and Isaiah. Isaiah's statue has as a caption these words of the prophet: "Behold, a virgin will conceive." Under the pedestal of Ezekiel, potato, one reads, "This door will remain closed." Under the pedestal of King David's statue reads, "The Most High has sanctified his tabernacle." And lastly, Moses, the dude with the horn-like staff on his head, story of another day. Moses opens the book of Genesis and prophesies the eternal struggle between heaven and hell. It says, "I will put enmities between thee and the woman." The base of the column are 4 bas-reliefs. Okay guys, I know this video is way too long for your liking, mine as well, but thanks for sticking all the same. Let's finish it off with the 2 inscriptions at the base of the column. Then finally, we see the purple coat of arms on opposite sides. This coat of arms was used by Pope Pius IX, the one known to promulgate the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. I think it's also good to know that Pope Pius IX, who became Pope in 1846 up to 1870, was the last Pope to rule the Papal States, which covered much of what is now Italy. There was no separation of church and state until a rebellion by Italian nationalists forced Pope Pius IX into exile, which led to the creation of modern Italy. Now you know. Lastly, how about some shopping? As you approach the Spanish Steps, you'll notice that you're walking into Rome's posh shopping district, lined with high-end designers and brands. If you gash money, this is your street, Via dei Condotti. If you're visiting Rome for the first time and your intentions are visiting all the famous places in Rome, such as Trevi Fountain, Spanish Steps, Colosseum, Pantheon, St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican Museums, the Roman Forum, just to name a few, all in one day? Well, it's all very possible, though exhausting, but my honest advice is it's better to avoid rushing across Rome to see all these places, because every corner, every turn, you are bound to find something amazing and worth uncovering. And basically, seeing Rome in a day is like going to bed with the hottest woman on earth, and you will only get 10 seconds of fondling. What I'm saying is that there is lots to see in Rome, and every time I visit, I always see something new. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you've learned a thing or two. Don't forget to watch my other videos. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, Honey Boo Boo, please do, as you learn a ton from my channel as I show you amazing places to visit in Italy. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot. See you in the next one. Bye!